As our ancestors and Maya Angelou has always said, when we know better, we know better, we do better. And next year will be better. But this year was not bad.
But it was an excellent start.
We had a discussion where you all learned some things. Those of us who weren't privy to any information got some information. John talked about the need to have a contextual conversation about homosexuality in the Black community and our relationship to it. How do we respond to it? How does it respond to us? And he recommended that we have NAN hold a session, or sessions maybe, around the country, to have that discussion as a family, so that we can say what we need to say to each other and walk out the door still loving each other. The Reverend Haynes, and he had to leave, and he explained that way before we got here, talked about the need for the Black church to start talking about sex. Right. Maybe we need to have Nan have these discussions in the church.
Amen. Amen. That's right.
We can have pick some churches, go into church, have an open discussion, have a discussion about homosexuality, transgender, have a discussion about sex. We're not even talking about sex. We just complicated sex, straight sex, missionary sex, upside down sex. I'm only 60, but I do remember. Reverend said, let's have that discussion. Let's have that discussion in the church, and maybe the women in the church, like his 65-year-old deaconess, will get a little understanding about all of this and say, maybe I need to get tested. Just maybe. We talked too about taking a test. And I am the Senior Vice President of Orashore Technologies. I make a test. I make a good test. I make a test, and I got tests for you all in the back of that room. You're free to take them. They're in-home tests. And I would allow a conversation to happen with the family that talked about all kinds of tests. Didn't even have to talk about my test. But that's what the family does. Because it's not about an instrument, it's not about a thing, it's not about an issue, it's about you. Having all the information that you absolutely need. We talk some about young people. And we need to talk a little more about young people. I think that when we put this together again for next year, young people needs to be part of the focus. It wasn't enough of that. Maybe we need to have a young people's panel. Maybe they need to tell us what they're doing, gay, straight, or otherwise, because I don't know. They got something called Twitter. I know that they talking and sending pictures. I don't know what's going on. I can hardly open my email. So somebody got to help me. I may have some new information, or I may have some information 30 years in this epidemic, but if I don't know how to do a Twitter or a tweet or whatever they call it, it ain't no good. Because I can't tell nobody. My grandchildren, who are in their 20s, text me. They want to know, Grandma, why don't you answer your text? Because I don't know which button it is. Stop texting me. Call me. I understand when the phone rings that I'm supposed to answer. And I'm still They don't even use a phone at home. The world has changed. The microwave came out a long time ago. Stuff is quick. They get it. They want it. They want to kill it. They want to cook it. They want to eat it all in 15 seconds. We haven't been able to keep up with them. So they're talking to each other. And I don't know if they're having a family conversation like we have. I don't know if they're getting the right information. I want to know. I keep jars of condoms in my house. When I visit my grandsons, I take them and throw them all over the room. I bring condoms to my son's college when I was there. They called me the condom grandma. Have a condom, you want to talk to me about sex, and sometimes they say things and I say, oh Lord. How do I answer that one? Sometimes I know I'm not supposed to answer. When I was bringing up my girls, who are now 45 and 43, let me just say this. I was 17 years old and had 2 children. I was beyond being a teenage mother. On welfare, struggling. I should be the statistic of all times. But when I got the community raised me, it takes a village. You all helped me raise my children. You all sent them to Vassar and Columbia Law. You all made my youngest daughter now the president of the New York United Way. You all made Tanya, my oldest, an actress that's now on True Blood and Orange is the New Black, with a transgender husband on the television show. You all made that happen. We would never have been able to make those things happen without the community. So the community is very powerful. Yes. The community can make a rough place smooth. I remember Miss Johnson across the street told me all about sex. My mother wouldn't say a word. And I already had 2 babies. She knew I was doing something. But Miss Johnson taught me about men. Now, I've had several husbands, but she did teach me how to deal with all 3 of them. So we've learned a lot today. And we've learned it all in our style. Our ability to take a crazy situation like HIV and AIDS and laugh at it, talk about it, make it comfortable for ourselves, allow each other an opportunity to get things done. We're going to take all the recommendations, and I didn't go through all of them, but I got it. And we are going to package those informations, and I promise you, Janae and I, as we work together, we're going to call on all of you, everybody, to ask some input, some questions. And next year, we're going to come back, and it's going to be fabulous.
Amen. Yes.
And I invite you all to be here. But before I leave here, before we all leave here, I've got somebody very special. For those of you who don't already know her, I want you to meet her. She's my child. One of my children, she's actually, I got kids older now. But I want you to meet Maria Davis. I remember when I started Blackly, I had a call from Maria. She didn't know who I was. She just noticed that there's some other organization, starting up in 1987, said they were some in the 80s. Well, we're a policy organization, not a direct service organization. But Maria had somebody who needed a bed. And I'm talking about the services we provide and blah, 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 blah. And she said this woman need a bed for her baby. The hell with all that service. And before I hung up the phone, that child had a bed, sheets, pillows, anything else that I could find. Because not doing that didn't make sense. It didn't make sense for me to tell her to bring her in so she could hear some policy. Her baby was sleeping on the floor. I had babies. I don't want my baby sleeping on the floor, and I don't want her baby sleeping on the floor. So this woman with this kind of force was a force to be reckoned with. I fell in love with her, and I'm still in love with her. And I'll be in love with her forever. Marie Davis.